Hey guys, I'm here with another Scrappy Playdate, and I have something a little different for you today. Me and Hannah decided to actually take a quote and each do an art journal page based on that quote. And I have an art journal, but I don't work in it as often as well, not as often as I'd like. That's not what I'm trying to say. As often as I like to do canvases. Like I prefer to do canvases over my art journal. So that's what I'm going to use today instead of my art journal. But this is an 8 by 10 canvas, and I just picked it up at Michael's. And I pulled out my Mind's Eye Sky's the Limit. I have the most of the 12 by 12 papers and also the 6 by 6 pad. So I just grabbed one that I liked, and I actually liked the pattern on both sides here. So I just tore it up into several pieces, and I'm using some heavy gel matte medium to put that down. And the one that I am using is from Golden. And that spatula thing that I have, I got it at Michael's quite a while ago, and well, not quite a while ago, maybe like a month ago. And that thing has changed my life. Like, I use that now more than I use like my palette knives. I don't know, there's just something about it I really love. So I'm just using that to spread the gel medium and place the papers, kind of like a decoupage technique, I guess. And there's really no rhyme or reason. I'm just trying to, balance the different patterns and stuff in the area that I want. And yeah, I'm gonna hit this with my heat gun. I tried to cut out most of the drying time, but I did leave some of it in here. So I normally just try to shut my camera off when I'm drying. That way I don't have to do as much editing because I'm lazy. But yeah, this part got left in. So sorry about that. So that is dry, and what I'm going to do is take my gesso, and I'm just showing you that first gesso. I love that gesso. That's like my heavy gesso, but the lid is so tight. Like, I don't know if it dried shut, like, if you get gesso on like the screw part of the lid, but I cannot get it open, so I'm gonna have my fiance help me with that. So I'm just using my Liquitex gesso instead, which is a little runnier, and I'm using another spatula from that line as the other spatula I was just talking about, or it's like a scraper thing, and I just use that to scrape some gesso on. And I'm going to dry it up quick and then realize I want it to be a little bit more muted. So I'm going to put another coat of gesso on it, a little bit of a thicker coat. Sorry about that. I tried to cover the mic. So yeah, there I go, putting just another coat of gesso on there, and yeah, I like that a lot better. So I am taking a distress paint, and this is in that new cracked pistachio color that they came out with, I think in January. And I'm just putting some down there on my glass thingy and picking it up with a blending tool, and I'm just going to use this Tim Holtz brisk brick stencil and stencil that in kind of random areas, but I am trying to keep in like a diagonal format. Um, since that's just what I do. I seem to do everything in a diagonal. So yeah, I'm just gonna go back and kind of fill in. And I like now that the paint is, there's not as much on the sponge, you get a lighter, not a lighter color, but it's not as opaque. So I went back and did some more stenciling. And now I'm gonna do a little bit on the sides of the canvas. And yeah, I recently got that brick stencil, and I must say that is becoming one of my new favorite stencils. I really like it. So I'm going to clean off my stencil quick here. I'm just spraying it with some water, and then I'm taking, this is actually just an old like a tank top. I mean, I know people call them wife beaters, but I hate calling them that. So, but that's the style of, it's like a men's tank top, and it had a hole in it, so now I just use it in my craft room as like a rag, and it actually works really good. So, so yeah, there it is. The paint is dry, and I'm going to take some gel medium, and I'm sorry you can't see it very well, but over to the right there, I just smushed out some gel medium, and I took some Recollections micro beads, and they're just the clear ones, and I am just mixing it into the gel medium there. Now, I do have, so you can see all the texture in it. I do have the golden glass bead gel, and I also love that, but that has a glossy finish when it dries, and I wanted something a little bit more matte, so I just made my own with the matte gel. And now here's another newer Tim Holtz stencil that's out that I have, and this is the lace one, and it's really pretty. It's just, lacy flowers, so. I'm putting that on there also in a diagonal, and I'm going to clean up the excess that was still left a little bit on my craft sheet, and then of course clean my stencil, same method. And I really try to clean off my stencils when I use things on them because um, otherwise they get all gunky and stuff. So there you can see all the texture and stuff on there. Now this is another new distress color. Can you tell I was just trying to play with a lot of new things? This is Abandoned Coral, and this is the Distress Spray Stain. And so I'm just taking it, taking the straw part and dabbing it in the corners, and then using a mini mister to spread the color out. So, and because it's distress, it's really cool because it doesn't dilute the color very much. So you still get that vibrant color, but you get those great runs and stuff. So now I went and grabbed a couple gelatos just to fill in some more color. So this is the metallic mint, I believe it is. And I'm just using a water brush and I'm smushing some on my craft sheet, picking it up, and then just kind of painting it where I want the color to be. And if I wanted to spread a little bit more in that specific area, I just squeeze the water brush and the water comes out and it will just automatically spread the gelato. So I'm going to do it again now with this kind of corally color. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact color name, but you can kind of see my color scheme here. It's corals and that like minty greenish color. So yeah, I'm just painting that on and dabbing it around where I want it to be. And now that I'm done with that, I'm just finishing drying this. So you can see a lot more happened here. My camera somehow shut off and I didn't notice it. So what I did is I did some stamping in that yellow. You can kind of see it under the archival ink over there. It's a memento yellow. I stamped with that, and then I stamped with some archival black, and now I am just dabbing on some of that butter yellow that you see. That's one of the new Heidi Swap colors, and I just held it up to the mustard so you can see the difference between the two yellows she has out. And then I also sprinkled with a color called Patina, which is the new Heidi Swap color, so those are the darker sprinkles that you see on there. Now I turned off the camera, I fussy cut those hot air balloons out. And now I'm just going through the 6x6 pad to find something for my quote and stuff to sit on because that background grew very busy. So I just picked this nice yellow chevron from the 6x6 pad and I used my little trimmer there to just cut it into strips. I didn't measure them or anything. And I'm going to pick another color here or another pattern, which I think is like a coral chevron. Yes. And I'm going to go grab a Martha Stewart punch and I'm just going to punch two of those out so that I can kind of use them as borders for that main area. So yeah, I mean, I love doing projects like this, art journaling and mixed media-ish type stuff and stuff. And I've actually been doing a lot more of that lately than just traditional 12 by 12 scrapbooking, just because I get bored sometimes and I just need to switch it up. So this was right up my alley when Hannah asked me if I wanted to do something like this, and I was like, yes, because that's kind of the groove I've been in lately. I mean, I'm by no means a professional. I'm still learning, and a lot of the things I make, they come out and I'm like, yikes, but the point is I'm doing it and I'm trying to learn and trying to see what I like in this area. So you'll have to bear with me. So yeah, I just took my distresser there and I distressed the edges of all those strips just to add a little bit more texture back there. And I'm going to take some Fabri-Tac now and glue all those strips down. And I really needed to get a new Fabri-Tac, but it's just so expensive. Every time I go to get some, I find something else because I always want to use my coupon on that, but then I'll be like, oh, I'll just use my coupon on this instead. But I do really need to get some new Fabri-Tac. Mine's almost gone. And I mean, for anyone that uses that glue, you know, when it gets low, it's so hard. You have to be like Superman to squeeze it out of the bottle. But it is a really nice glue. I do love Fabri-Tac, so there you see me. I just layered the border strips on top and bottom with the little Martha Stewart punch, and then I layered the yellow ones in between. And now I'm just going to figure out where I want to put these balloons and stuff. And I wanted to add another element from the paper collection, so I found this in the 6x6 pad. And I think it says something along the lines of there's no limit or sky's the limit or something like that. So I just cut out the little take area and I'm going to stick that in that bottom left corner and then stick the balloons in the top right corner. And that little Fiskars trimmer I'm using, the guillotine, is that how you say it? I think I love that thing. I originally bought it just for pictures because, you know, I see everyone using the Creative Memories one. And so I picked that one up and I find that that one just sits on my desk and I use it to just cut, you know, all my smaller things. It's just so much more convenient than pulling out my, not that it's that hard. I'm just that lazy than reaching to over to the side and grabbing my big trimmer. So anyways, yeah. So I printed the quote out, you know, off of my computer, and I just cut it into strips, and I'm just kind of figuring out how I want to arrange it on the canvas here. And so that looks good to me. I'm going to take this distress paint again in the cracked pistachio, and I'm just going to outline each one of these border strips, or I'm sorry, word strips, I guess you could call them quote strips. So yeah, I really love that color too. It's amazing. I'm really glad that Tim Holtz is coming out with these new colors, and I feel like it's it's a color palette that's more relevant to a lot of scrapbooking right now. So it'll be cool to kind of incorporate your distress inks in. A lot of times, you know, I love my distress inks. I don't have all of them, but I have most of them. And I love them, but I just find that sometimes there's not the color I'm looking for because, you know, like mint is such a hot color and coral is such a hot color. But now that he's coming out with these colors, I'm excited to use them, you know, in just my scrapbooking too. So I decided to put the person, I think his name is Marcel Prout, is that how you say it? In the very bottom right corner, and I like it down there. And so I'm just gluing this tag down. I distressed the edges of that also, and this is just some cardboard from a cardboard box. I save, you know, cardboard so I could pop stuff up. And so, yeah, I'm just going to use that to pop these balloons up. And I'm going to put one layer on this larger one and then two layers on the smaller one so that it sits up a little bit higher. And I also attached those strips, which is some 3M foam tape, which isn't two-dimensional. It's just enough to give a little bit of lift, you know. So there's nothing like cardboard for dimension though. So yes, trying to squeeze out the very last of my Fabri-Tac here to stick these balloons down, and I wanted that one to kind of hang over the edge there. So yeah, just layer those together. And all I'm going to do now, I didn't want to add like any big flowers or anything on here. So I'm going to take these little metal flowers, and they are by Momenta, I think that's how you say it. And they're just little metal roses, really teeny ones. And that is just another metal corner that I had in a bin of metals. And this is an alcohol ink in clover, which is like a turquoisey tealy color, I guess. It matches the colors in the thing just fine. And I just dripped a drip onto each flower, and I'm just blotting off the excess there. And you can kind of see. And now I'm going to take that cracked pistachio and just dab the tops of them just to give them a little bit more definition. And I'm going to hit that with my heat gun just to dry everything up really quick. And yeah, now I'm just going to take my Fabri-Tac again and just stick down all these metal pieces. Oh, I did rub a little bit of that distress paint over that metal corner, just to so it wasn't so just metal, you know. And now I'm just going to stick these little roses just here and there, just popping out just for little accents, um, you know, little decorations here and there. So, and I'm going to take this distress paint again and I'm going to run it around the border of the canvas just to frame everything together. So, yeah, and I'm doing it pretty messy and carefree. I just wanted a nice little border there, and I'm even going to bring it in on some of the edges that needed a little color. And that's it. So I'm going to do some close-ups here. And then at the end, I am going to zoom out and show you what my desk looks like right now after this project. It is a complete disaster, but I give a thumbs up at the very end because, you know, I like it that way. I don't know, I just feel like I work better. So thank you guys. Make sure you head over to Hannah's channel and check out her video. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.